Mark Pope advocates for 40-game college basketball schedule. College basketball is on the brink of a major shift, and UK coach Mark Pope is leading the charge toward a future where teams play 40 regular season games, a jump from the current 31, now 32 starting this season. While NCAA rules have just allowed teams to play 32 regular season games, Pope believes this change isn't nearly enough. His vision? A 40-game season that would push teams to between 35 to 40 total games when including postseason play. We just went from 31 to 32 games, Pope explained. But I'm fighting for 9 more games to make it truly competitive and comprehensive. Why settle for incremental change when you can aim for innovation? But here's the part where the conversation gets interesting. Pope isn't just talking about expanding schedules. He's already experimenting with creative summer scrimmages to test his theories. Last week, Pope's team faced off against La Familia, a group of former Kentucky standouts competing in the basketball tournament, TBT, event with a $1 million prize. These summer workouts aren't just about training. They're about creating real game environments that mirror competitive scenarios. It's not just practice drills, Pope emphasized. These scrimmages give players genuine competition with stats, counters terminology that separates play extensions. Performing against veteran compatriots from the past forces our young talent to adopt faster decision-making and tactical adaptations. What did this high-stakes scrimmage reveal about Pope's second Kentucky team? For starters, he noticed emerging assets, fast-paced players with relentless motors, bench depth ready to contribute, and versatile big men preparing for multi-dimensional attacks. Think of Andre Styles switching between inside and perimeter play. The potential for varied offensive approaches excites me, Pope shared. But this isn't just about basketball mechanics. The scrimmage also bridged generations by reconnecting current players with UK legends like Archie Goodwin and the Harrison twins. I'm sorry, I can't assist with that request. Kentucky basketball's new focus. Mark Pope's defensive revolution for 2025-26 season. Change is on the horizon for Kentucky basketball coach Mark Pope. And it's becoming clear that he's taking his lessons from last season to heart. With the approach to summer workouts shifting significantly in his second year, fans and experts alike are eager to see what transformations will unfold on the court. In this upcoming season, Coach Pope is putting a strong emphasis on honing defensive fundamentals instead of focusing on complex offensive strategies, which was the case last year. His philosophy insists on a commitment of 100% effort during every individual play, even if that means abandoning the planned practice agenda to achieve their defensive goals, setting the stage for improvement. As the summer workout period, which spans 8 weeks as sanctioned by the NCAA, progresses, Pope has openly expressed his feelings of being somewhat twisted up regarding how much better he could organize this valuable time. Stepping into his second season as head coach of Kentucky basketball, he reflects on the lessons learned from his inaugural year in the role. Last year, when the team, featuring a remarkable lineup of 12 newcomers, gathered for their summer training sessions, Pope and his staff were methodical in how they conveyed offensive and defensive principles. In simpler terms, the previous Wildcats team was perceived to be more game-ready compared to the current 2025 to 2026 iteration, at the same stage of preparation during the summer. Pope stated, "We had a better feeling last year of what to get to, options A, B, C, and D, and how to make those decisions," emphasizing defensive fundamentals. While this year's squad might not yet grasp the intricacies of Pope's transition offensive tactics, they are making significant headway in mastering defensive fundamentals and showing greater tenacity, qualities that were often lacking in the previous season. One of the things we must achieve is improving our defensive field goal percentage next year, Pope emphasized. We are committed to contesting every single field goal attempt legally. There's a lot involved in that, but it remains a focal point for us. This commitment is so strong that if necessary, they are prepared to alter the day's practice schedule spontaneously. One of our key beliefs this year, one of our 100%s, is to adhere to a standard during every single possession, he said. Therefore, we will disrupt practice more frequently this year compared to last. We're determined not to progress until we live up to our established standards. A striking example of this philosophy was evident during one summer practice. The Wildcats had split into two groups, and unfortunately, the first group was struggling. This struggle had a ripple effect on the rest of the practice session. However, two encouraging outcomes emerged from this challenging experience. First, our players didn't give up, Pope noted. The atmosphere was filled with frustration, which made it anything but joyful for that first group that morning. But they persevered. They kept pushing through, like they wanted to understand and achieve our objectives. The second positive was that the second group observed the last 15 minutes of hardship experienced by the first group, inspiring them to step onto the court with newfound determination and intention to get it right from the start. Beyond practice, Coach Pope noted that the desire to improve is apparent in other aspects as well. Despite restrictions on how much time coaches can spend with players during the summer, limited to 8 hours a week, including just 4 hours for on-court instruction, there are no limits on the players themselves. They're dedicating a lot of time outside of practice to individual workouts, gathering in groups for shooting sessions, or focusing on their skills, Pope shared. It feels like there are players in the gym nearly all day and night, bonding beyond the court. The camaraderie off the court is equally vital, which is why Pope considers the Wildcat Coal Lodge a true blessing. This residence hall serves as a conducive environment where players naturally encounter one another. They just bump into each other, creating those spontaneous interactions, Pope explained. The objective during these 8 weeks is for them to reach a point where they genuinely annoy each other, maybe even drive each other crazy over little things, like leaving their belongings out or not taking out the trash. Through these day-to-day interactions, true relationships form. I believe that's currently happening here. When not in light-hearted banter, these young athletes are discovering more about Lexington and the broader region. To facilitate this, Pope organised community service events for the first 3 weekends of the summer. Each week, we've held events where the players have shown eagerness and a genuine commitment to serve, Pope highlighted. The shared experience of working together enhances their friendships, creating what I would call a unique personal growth opportunity as they get to know each other better through service. From Pope's viewpoint, these developments signify something positive. I think they possess the spirit and motivation to be highly coachable. We have a group of individuals who recognize what it means to be part of Kentucky basketball, a collective understanding of our intense desire to improve and the humility needed to achieve that growth, he remarked. The depth of humility can vary, but right now we seem to be in a space that fosters openness to new ideas and progress. Risky changes ahead. While Pope is aware that these modifications to his coaching philosophy carry some level of risk, he knows it's a well-informed gamble. His belief in the potential rewards of this approach is steadfast. I feel proud of the progress the guys have made thus far, he stated. Yet, we still have a considerable journey ahead. There's more work to be done to prepare for the inevitable challenges that the upcoming season will present us. But we are undeniably heading in the right direction. What are your thoughts on Coach Pope's strategic changes? Do you agree that prioritizing defense over offense will yield better results for the Wildcats? Share your opinions below.